Hello and welcome to Tim's BMW Repairs and Information. Well, have you got a 1 Series with a hatchback that just doesn't open? Yeah, it was working perfectly 1 second, and then when you turn the emblem, it just makes a machine gun noise, or no noise at all, and it just doesn't open. Yeah, you're in a bit of a sticky situation. You've got all your stuff actually in the hatchback. Well, I'm going to show you 2 methods to get the hatchback open in the first place. There's a very short one, which is extremely difficult to do, and I couldn't do it. I gave up on that method and I came up with this second method, which involves removing bits of the trim in the hatchback of the car. Now, those bits of trim have to come off anyway if you're going to replace the catch, so you might as well get on with it. Now, the catch is 35 quid or about $45 from eBay and Amazon. It's exactly the same part, has exactly the same part number on it, but doesn't say BMW on it. So it's quite an easy job, and I'll show you the easy way to do it, and we'll go through all the tools, how to do it, and all the pitfalls as well. So yeah, and don't do it on a day like today, which is 35 degrees. Yeah, that's just too hot to be in the hatchback. Let's get on with it. Right, well, here we are then, crawling around in the back of a 1 Series on quite a hot day. It's not much fun, to be honest. What I've done is I've removed the back cover of the hatchback to show you exactly what I'm doing. Now, there's no need to remove it, and you can't remove it when the door's shut, but I'll show you how to get it down far enough so you can see this point here, because this is the point you have to move with a screwdriver. Now, you need a flat bladed screwdriver where the end is slightly wider than the shaft. And what you do is you can see this part of the lock, bung it in sideways, and then as you get to the top, turn it slightly, and then you'll be able to push that to the side. Not easy because there's quite a bit of pressure to it, and that's enough to open the door. So I'll do that a few more times. So you can see it's a darn sight easier when you can see the lock than it is when all you can see is this. Do it once more. I'll zoom you in actually. There we go, that's a bit closer. You can see all the WD-40 I put around here as well. Trying to get the thing to work, but it wouldn't. It just failed, does the machine gun noise, and that's it. So with this rear cover in place, you have to get your screwdriver up. There's the part of the lock you can see. Bring the screwdriver just 1 centimetre to the right. Bring it upwards, turn it round so that you can grab hold of that bit of metal, and then push it to the side, and that's it. As simple as that, the door's open. Right, let's do that again with the cover in place. I'm going to show you how to remove this partially, so it makes it a lot easier, but I'm going to do it with it in place. So what you have to do, you have to go up until you hit the back of the switch, and then push to the right. If you don't feel it move at all, then move the screwdriver again and push, and there we go, we got it again. Right, to get to a point where you can move this enough, if you're not having any luck getting to it there, then we're going to have to remove the top of this here and pull it back a bit. You can't undo the bottom because it's got 2 screws going up here. So the way we do this is we actually start right at the top of the window, get hold of the middle bit, there we go, pull that down. That's joined with clips to the next bit, pull it across like that. I'll do the same for the other end. There we go, so that's that bit out. Side bit just fell out, and normally it would have the 2 screws that have the strings on that goes to the cover. These are just pushed in place again so you can get behind them. They'll unclip from there. This one here as well, you won't be able to see a thing because I'm in the way. That's one out, that's the other side out. Now when it's got to this point, undo these 2 screws here. They're Torx fittings, and then you can get to the top of this, unclip it, just give it a sharp pull, there we go, and another sharp pull, and then we can get these down between the sides, and that gives us enough room to be able to look down at the actual lock itself. So what I do is I bring you in there. Right, here's my view with this cover pulled forward, and we can actually see where you need to get the screwdriver in. So I'll do it from this angle as well. So if you had no luck getting it from the other position, and I didn't, then you can get in here. Let's see my screwdriver, there it is, going onto the side of the catch, push it to one side. With the hatchback fully open again, we can replace the catch. Now, I'll say it very quickly, with the hatchback back open again, it is awkward, that is the problem, and it's only when you look at the mechanism you can see where you've got to poke the screwdriver, which is why I found it much easier by half removing that cover so I could see the mechanism. Right, so we'll replace this next. No need to disconnect the battery. Two big Torx, but we need to get it back in exactly the same place. So I've got a pencil and I mark round it. It would be absolutely useless if we get it back in the wrong place. And then we need a Torx drive to get that out. Okay, so that's marked all the way round. Okay, so I've got the Torx bit, which is T40, so that's the size of the Torx bit. They're going to be done up quite tight because it is a safety part of the car. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch ratchet. Right, let's give it a go. No, I was expecting them to be very tight. They're more or less hand tight, those are. Righty ho. Well, that makes life a lot easier. I thought it was going to heave and grunt to get that undone, but nah, very loose. Now, the replacement parts you can get from BMW. It's got the part number marked on the lock. I'll show you a picture of that. Or you can get it from eBay. Now, from BMW, it's about £100, about $120. eBay, about 35 quid, $40. So now that I know how to get them off quite easily, I'm going to use the cheap eBay one. There we go, get it dangling on the wires, find the connector and pull the connector out. There we go, that's it off. I'll read out the part number while I'm here. 51247248075. That's the part. Right, the one I got from eBay doesn't look too dissimilar. What if it's got the part number? No, 51247248075. Yeah, exactly the same part number, so that's jolly handy. So there we go then, that's the new part, £35 from Amazon. And what we can do is have a very close look. Actually, I'll zoom you in. Rightio, we can have a closer look at the part now. And this is where the screwdriver would be going up. And here's the little catch that needs to move side to side. So it looks easy from here, but unfortunately when you're stuck in the back of a hatchback on a boiling hot day, it's not so much fun, I can assure you of that. But anyway, that's where you go with your screwdriver, push it to one side and you get the hatchback open. Right, on with the new one, connector in first. You can see the marks on there, so that's going to make it a lot easier for us to put in place. Right, it's in place. Get it around about there somewhere. Get the Torx bolts back into position again. And then what we'll do is we'll align it carefully with the marks which were there. Oh yeah, bolts doing up. T40. Now, as you see, it can move left and right quite a lot, so I'm very glad I made those marks there. They'll make it a lot easier to get back on again. Well, the screw holes don't actually allow me to align it as close as I'd like to. But we're pretty close there. There we go. Right, that's far up as that's as far up as it's going to go. Right, let's do up the Torx. And what I do now is I'm going to try to close it without putting any of the covers back. Right, does the handle do anything? Yep, I can hear it moving. Okay. There we go. Right, doesn't open until you turn the handle. That's it, that's fine. I'm going to tighten those up fully now. I don't quite know why they're so loose before, but they shouldn't be that loose. There we go. Right, with the catch in place and tested to make sure it works, you can start putting all the covers back on. Now, if you look at the covers, they're mainly push-in fittings. These can shatter, I'm afraid, if you're not careful. So they need a good thump though. That's always the thing with these connectors. They need a good thump to get them in. It's a bit awkward because of course the handles are quite deep, and of course the handles stop it going back into position. So we'll get it close to the right position. Sorry, pulled my microphone off now. So I'll get the first catches close to the right position and give them a thump. There we go, that's one back in. So make sure these are lining up. Close enough. That's back in. There we go, they're going in. Right, they're in. Get those over the metal there. There we go, they're all in. Now, of course, the reason you can't take this fully off with the hatchback in the lock position are these two screws here. Well, they're actually blind rivets. They're a bit of a pain to get out. They look like screws, but they're actually in two halves. There's a black plastic bit with a hole in, and then what looks like a screw gets screwed in it, and it opens it out like a rivet. But they're very difficult to get out without damaging, so it's always best to have some spare ones of those. Well, I'll find some. Right, well, I've got a set of blind rivets, so it's a case of finding one that fits, really. These you can get from Amazon, cost you about 10 quid. You get hundreds of the things. That's the one. So here are the fittings. So it's like a raw plug on the end, raw plug with a stem, and you push the stem in and it will open it up. Now, to get these out, which don't have the screw, you just push the stick further in with a small screwdriver and that'll get it back out again. Right, those two in, and then you need to push the centres in. That's one in. It took longer to find the hammer than it did to get that. The sticks on these are actually moulded into part of this, so you need it give it a good clout to start it going. There we go, that's the second one in. And there we go, that's in place. Just be careful to get these around the corners like that, and make sure they're all thumped up in place. We're good. Two screws up here. Right, side bits, they're always good fun, aren't they? Can never remember which way round they go or how they clip in, or so you've got to have that there. So it don't go that way.
Like
flat bit
that?
has to go there, yeah.
Dude looks like he just wants to.
One way or the other.
That way, I reckon.
Slip these over.
Yeah, he's quite happy.
That's it, I think. Let's check it all works. Microphone out. And there we go. It's not too hard really. Once you know where the bit is on the catch you have to push, it's quite easy, and I could do it with the plastic in place, but it's really no point because you have to remove all the plastic to replace the catch anyway. So there you go, 35 quid. Job's a good one. Well, thanks very much for watching. Put the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Keep commenting. I answer all the comments, even on old videos, so don't worry about sticking comments on the latest one. If you want to get in touch with me, just stick it on the most relevant one, because that helps other people who've watched in the video and they want to see the comments below it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.